On this second day of the Triduum, the day that is called Good Friday, we once again hear John's version of the Passion. We hear that Jesus is resolute, recognizing that the hour has come for which he was purposed, to suffer and die, so that the world would be saved through him. Jesus was not afraid to speak truth to power. It was that truth that put him in opposition with the political and religious leaders of his time. And it was that truth that led him to his death on a cross. So what is good about Good Friday? Good Friday is a somber day in church, reflecting on the death of Jesus and for the sins of the world that his death represents. We hear from the prophet Isaiah a foretelling of Jesus as the suffering servant. Death by crucifixion was gruesome and humiliating in public. Usually, death by crucifixion was reserved for those who committed atrocious crimes, like the two thieves that were hanging on the cross with him. We know that Jesus was innocent of any such crime. One of the thieves also knew and recognized Jesus for who he was and said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus was committed to justice, always siding with the underdog, those that were being oppressed by the empire systems, by the religious elites, and by others. Jesus was guilty of going against the mandates of the empire. But Jesus stood his ground, and because of his resistance to the injustices that were being perpetrated at the time, he was sentenced to death. What is good about Good Friday? On Ash Wednesday of this year, February 14th, a former student at a Florida high school went on a shooting rampage, killing 17 people. Since then, Parkland is seen as the turning point in the gun control debate. While that is very good, let us not forget that Black and brown youth deal with gun violence each and every day. The sounds of gunshots are more familiar than children's laughter when playing. Black and brown youth are not achieving their full potential. Demand for stricter gun laws started many years ago. Our children are continually being sacrificed because of America's fascination with guns and the greed of the Congress, who are allowing the NRA to line their pockets. The time for thoughts and prayers, every time there's a massive gun slaughter, is gone. Let us not be like Peter, watching and waiting outside the gate to see the outcome of what would happen to Jesus. The church has been silent on this issue of violence and other issues for far too long. And it is time to be as radical as Jesus and stand up to the injustices that are plaguing our community. The young people need our actions in joining them and demanding common sense gun laws, titling guns like cars, raising the age for purchasing guns, and enforce stricter background check policies. Arming our teachers is not the answer. What is good about Good Friday? If we, the church, the disciples of Jesus Christ, don't take a stand, then who will? When we look at the cross, we can draw on the strength that Jesus displayed in his darkest hours. That is the strength that is needed to take a stand against gun violence, against racism, sexism, and all other isms, no matter the consequences and no matter the voices that are in opposition. Jesus died for our sins once for all. What is good about Good Friday? In John 10, Jesus said, "I lay down my life for the sheep. No one takes it from me. Good Friday reminds us that Jesus' life exemplified just actions and the love for everyone, especially the least of these. What is good about Good Friday is that Good Friday causes us to activate our faith. We know that Good Friday was not the end of the story. We have read that last chapter in the Bible. Good Friday is good because without Good Friday, there would be no Resurrection Sunday.